Hello, greetings to you. You're welcome to our channel today, and today we're actually going to be doing a follow-up on the analysis that we did before now. We actually posted that, and for those who actually saw that, we are actually going to be looking at that now. So if you see before now here, if you see before now, we actually did an analysis on two both entries. This was the first entry here on this breaker here, and we said that we're expecting the market to come to this point and give us a reaction. And this was the second entry here at this other block here, and we said we're expecting the market to come to this point and give a reaction. So we had two possible entries, and that is why we had also a stop loss, on any of these entries, and most importantly this one, right? So in case the market does not hold, we can actually experience a reversal in terms of covering up for the loss with this second entry. Now you can see here the market came all the way here from this point where we saw this, and filled this gap here, this imbalance here. And let me identify that here. So this was the imbalance, right? So this was the imbalance. This was the imbalance. So let me just label that here. So this was the imbalance that the market filled with this massive sell at this point here. So let me take out this out. I placed this out so I would be able to explain that better for us to have a much better understanding on this. So when the market came down and had this massive sell and filled this imbalance and tapped this second entry and gave us a massive buy, right? And gave us what? A massive buy. And trust me, of course, a lot of people who may have been holding the sell positions should have been able to take massive profits, and also those who tapped from this point here also would have gotten some massive profit. Now look at this, the market reversed at this point. So now if you go to the lower time frame, let's take this out. If you go to the lower time frame, you'll see that the market to some extent reversed, at the point like this, right? So this was the point where the markets reversed, and when the market reversed and started coming down. Now there are two things. So let's take out this point here. We now understand that okay, the market has done this and did not respect that first entry, but respected this other entry. Now there are two things this market can do. First of all, the market can choose to retest this point again, right? You can see it retested this point and actually try to give a buy, but then the sellers are actually still very much following up on this particular trade, right? The sellers are still very much following up on this particular trade, right? But then notice that our general trend is actually an uptrend, right? Our general trend is actually an uptrend if we paid attention to when we looked at the market. So if you did not follow us on this particular charts, you can actually check out our previous video before this one, right? So general trend is actually an uptrend. So two things here is that the markets can respect this zone, and actually we can experience what? A buy. So this is what the market did here. The market came out to this point, sold down to this point, experienced a buy, and here to this point and all the way up. So this is what we can experience, right? This is what we can experience. Let me just take that out. So this is what we can experience. Don't focus on the top there. Just focus on this point. So this is what we can experience. But then also we are seeing that the market is gradually creating a downtrend kind of, because we can see here there's a break of structure at this point here. Just a quick one here. There's a break of structure also at this point here, right? There's a break of structure at this point here. Now, if this market breaks this structure here, right? If this market, these are all, there's a point here for break. But now, if this market breaks this structure, for example, here, if this market breaks this point, right, then we can probably see the market going down to this particular point. So are you seeing that the market is gradually trying to experience a buy? But then we are not sure, because if you look at this candle here, this particular candle here is actually a point of indecision, right? This candle here is a point of indecision, right? There's the buyers are confused, or there's no strong buying power, there's no strong selling power at the 45 minutes time frame, right? So this is it. So let me bring this down a little bit again. So this is actually that point here. So we're experiencing that at this point, whereby we cannot really tell if the market is, because if it's really going to buy, or if it's really going to sell. But then I'll be sharing with us some level of what's it called now? Some level of what I feel the market can do. But then what we can see at this point, we can see that first of all, this market sold down to this point, and to some extent, the next candle did not go below this previous candle, and this next one has not closed yet. So we can't really tell, but with time, we'll be able to find out. But then, if this market breaks this point, which is this line here, if this market breaks this point, which is this line here, then we're probably going to be seeing some. Let's look at the lower time frame and see. Let's look at the lower time frame. Of course, we know that we use top-down analysis, to be able to checkmate that. So, of course, the entries I use is between 30, 45 minutes, and 1 hour. So, I'll be going back to those time frames here and checkmate this stuff. So now, this is what I am saying possibility. First of all, we can experience this market here buying from this point all the way up. We can experience this market here buying, retesting this point, and buying all the way up. That's one probability. Now, the next probability is this. This is the next probability that I'm looking at here. Let me go back to the 45 minutes time frame. So this is the next probability actually. Now, we can actually see the market selling to this point. This selling to this point, this sell side liquidity here. We can see the market selling to this point, this sell side liquidity covering this imbalance at this point, covering this imbalance here at this point. There's an imbalance there, covering this imbalance at this point and selling to this point. And we can actually see, so these are two possible entries here. So this is the first possible entry here. But then I can tell you for sure that this entry would just be a very short buy if peradventure the market comes to this point. But then this is actually the point where we can actually experience a very good buy if you are a very patient trader, right? If you're a very patient trader. So let's just bring this to this point, yeah? Right, let's bring this to this point here. Put it here. So now I'll be taking out this particular point. Not at all, not that. Here, let me bring it back to this point. Okay, good. So let me just put that back there. All right, but I just want to bring this very close to this to just let us know that we're still looking forward to see if there's a possibility for a buy from this region, right? So coming back to this point, we're going to be seeing a tendency of the market coming to this region and giving us a buy. First of all, the market can probably take out this liquidity, sell side point here, but then a very good liquidity here, right? So if that is done, right, we can now see the market coming to this point, this very point here. I know the stuff is looking way very this. Then we can put our stop loss at this particular region here. Then we can experience a good buy, right? We can experience a good buy. So, but then I'll take this out to ensure that the chart is very clean. I'll take this out to ensure that the chart is very clean. But then this is exactly what we are looking at here, right? This is exactly what we're looking at. Already we've experienced this, we've experienced this market coming to this point, peaked, give us a buy, and we're currently at this region here. So we're really observing this very strongly. But then if the market fails, then we're looking at this region around here whereby the market can come, but then you just need to be able to have some level of what patience, right? So, but then this point here, we're looking at probably if this market breaks this point here, if it breaks, okay, so see the market coming down, then if it breaks this point, then we're going to be experiencing a massive fall down. So, but then this is just the projection on what I feel the market should be doing, because it would try as much as possible to balance structures. And of course, as like we said, the trend is still overall on the higher time frame on an uptrend, because we have all these points where we can see break of structures, but then this particular part did not give us the break of structure that we're looking for this part here. So you can see to some extent, it's more of like an equal high, right? It's more of like an equal high. So that actually resulted to this downtrend that you are actually seeing, right? So let's see how this goes, and we'll come back again when we see what the market has done and get to talk more about the chart. So if you got value, do well to subscribe to the channel, do well to like the video, comment if you have a question or contribution, and know we're here to help you.